What's going on? We back. Another episode of the Man to Man podcast.
Yep.
I'm Antoine, Bethea. I'm with my co-host D Butler.
Yes, sir.
Man, we back, man. Let's jump right into it. Man. We know it was a big game. Obviously we was former players of this squad, Indianapolis Colts, man, and they had a big game at home against the Baltimore Ravens, man. It started off hot, playing good ball, man, and then they just kind of sizzled off in the second half. Lamar offense got going. Defense came up with some big plays for Baltimore, man. So what you think, man? How you think the Colts are going to bounce back after that loss Thursday against the divisional opponent, Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, I mean they got to bounce back quick. Got to find a way to get a win. Like you said, they started off hot in the first half, but I think it's the same questions, man. Can that offense be consistent? Can it put up points? Can it sustain drives? Once you start playing some of the better teams in the league, the Ravens, obviously one of the better teams in the AFC. Somebody you're gonna have to see or go through in the playoffs. I think the Titans is gonna be the same thing. Great rushing attacks. That's where it starts for both of these teams. And that's what we do best, honestly, on defense is stopping the run. All the categories you look across the board, we up in the top 3 or 4. So you keep doing that, but it's going to be on their offense. It's a complementary game. Like we can be holding it down on defense, but if the offenses are doing their job, it's not going to get done. Same thing, vice versa. You see with the Seahawks, I feel like their offense is putting up points, moving the ball every week, but the defense isn't holding up there in the bargain. So we just got to find a way to keep it moving on offense, man. That's really what it's going to come down to. Defensively, it's going to be stopping that run again and forcing Tannehill to beat you. He's a good player. They got some good receivers, but that's our best shot, making them one-dimensional, making Tannehill have to beat you. I don't think he's the athlete and the talent that Lamar is, but he can definitely play well enough to beat you. What you think, man?
Nah, I'm with you. I definitely think it's the defense will have to continue to do what they've been doing, stifling the run, creating turnovers. Like you said, as far as offense wise. Even though we kind of, you leaning on the run game, but I think they went away from the run game against the Baltimore Ravens. The young boy Jay Taylor, man, he fumbled. It was a big play, scoop and score. They took it in for 6, and from there you kind of see him go away from the run game. I wish they would have stuck with it because I feel as though he was running the ball good. Obviously, giving the ball up, giving the pill up. That's not what you want, but again, like you said, man, it's on the offense, man. The offense got to pick it up a little bit. Hopefully, you get T.Y. back. Hopefully, they can find some ways to get T.Y. involved in the game plan a little bit more than what he's been in the first half of the season. But they got
to find a way to get more production out of 13, man.
Yeah. You got to have some. I think the offense got to get creative, man. Got to get creative. But like you said, Tennessee. They're going to run the ball. If they run the ball, that kind of opens it up for Tannehill, where he can kind of stretch the ball down the field for his play action and things of that nature. So I'm looking for the defense, man, to really step up, create more turnovers, get some points on the board, create good field position for the offense so the offense doesn't have to drive that 80 yards down the field, man. It's just not looking like they're not the type of offense that can really do that on a consistent basis. That's hard for any offense to do on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
I think
especially without getting those chunk plays. That's what a lot of offenses lean on is getting those chunk plays, being able to stretch the field. And honestly, with Rivers, you can't really stretch the field like that for the most part. He's not, dangerous when it comes to that. In the run game, you talked about the run game earlier. Like I don't know who I even want to be the bell cow right now for the Colts. Like, is it Taylor? Is it Hines? Is it Wilkins? Like, because they all changed the game and affect the game differently. But I'm not seeing what I expected out of the rookie, honestly. And I don't know if it's a coordinator thing, it's a play call thing, it's a scheme thing. Offense not creating the gaps. Like is he not seeing the holes? Like, man, I don't really know what it is. What you think?
I think we talked about it earlier, bro.
How difficult is it for a back who all through college ran power, and then a team drafts you that want to make your zone? Is that a whole different thing, or is that kind of like, you can figure it out?
No, it's going to take some time. I was lucky enough when I was in college. I ran both. I ran out of pro style offense, so I ran both. So when I got to Jacksonville, I could kind of do both because I did it before. Let's say, for example, you were talking about the Colts and Jonathan Taylor. He's a downhill runner.
Yep.
He's a power guy. That's what they did in Wisconsin. There's no like you may sprinkle in a little zone like what Marlon Mack did at South Florida, but you're going to be mainly power downhill, pulling guys, blocking down, because when you pull a power, you have to read the line. You're reading the puller, right? When you're running zone, you're reading the defensive lineman. You're not reading the offensive guy. So I'm reading whatever the DN does or the D tackle does, depending on the type of zone that we're running. So they're going to dictate which way I jump cut or which way I go. And if it's a power, I'm reading what my puller does, necessarily not what the defense does.
You know, in college, I just think it's a different running scheme. You know, and I think it's going to take time for the young boy to really. Because the offensive line is good. The offensive line is good. I you know, they pass block well, they run block really well. So I just think it's one of them things where you got to get comfortable with, and it's one of them things that are okay. Well, how can we get him comfortable? Should we going on week what? What's this? Week 9, week 10, week 10. Yeah. So I'm with you. Like who do I lean on as far as running back? My running back responsibilities. Who do I lean on? So it's going to be. Something that we got to keep an eye on. Like you said, this Thursday game is very important. And then even honestly, I feel as though this Thursday game is a big game for Phillip Rivers as well. Because if he doesn't come out and play well this game, we might see some changes at that position, bro.
You think you ready? You ready for that conversation again now?
I mean.
It is a big game.
It's a huge game. It's a huge game because if you lose this game, I think you might be 2.5 games behind
Tennessee.
Behind Tennessee, you know, don't quote me on that, but I think it might be 2 games. You know what I mean? Because obviously Indy has 3 losses, Tennessee has 2. You know what I mean? So I think this is a big game.
Have the win
and then they'll have the win over Indy if they win on Thursday. So again, like if Phillip doesn't play well, man, I just think that's a discussion that they're going to have. I just think, you know, it's inevitable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree with you. It's a huge game. You know, both. This is going to be like, because we always talk about getting to the playoffs. Winning your division is the easiest road to get into that playoff spot. Getting that playoff spot, hosting a home game, it's going to come down to winning the division. And as the coach right now, you can see it. It's right there in front of you. And this is going to be the team that you have to go through. I think the Texans, they pretty much going to be out of it. The Jaguars are going to be out of it. You know, when you play them, those are still going to be divisional, you know, tough games. Can't just chalk them off the schedule. But this is who you compete with to win this division. So, you know, Titans just coming off a win over the good Bears team, who also has a good defense. But once again, that Bears offense wasn't able to sustain and put up enough points to beat them. So it's going to be kind of the same thing. Can that offense get over the hump, man? Can that offense get over the hump against a good team, against a good defense? I think the big weakness of the Titans defense, which that Desmond King trade can help a lot, is their third down. Like they were worst in the league, one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to making third down stops on defense. So offensively, sustaining drives, getting those first downs. Jack Doyle will be out this week, so you'll probably lean on Trey Burton and Mo Alley Cox a little more. And Hines in that pass game as well. So we got to figure out a way. But like you said, there'll definitely be a conversation if that offense comes up short again. like you're gonna have to make some. I think you're gonna have to shake things up, man.
Some tough decisions, man. Tough decisions, and you know, I'm pretty sure they're looking at it. I'm pretty sure Phillip, man, he's a vet. He's been in it a long time. I'm pretty sure he knows that he needs to do some things that, you know, to spark up that offense. And probably in the back of his head, like, look, man, if I don't play well, man, it might be some changes coming. It's another quarterback that was kind of thinking the same thing prior to this last game, Cam Newton.
Yep, prior to that Monday night.
Yeah, Cam Newton, he was kind of thinking that. He kind of came out and said, well, look, man, if we don't play well, if we lose, sure, it might be some quarterback changes. You know, traveling up to New York, playing a divisional opponent. Yep. And the Jets, a winless team. So, you know, they was going to come out there throwing haymakers, trying to get their first win. How you think he looked in their last game.
I think he looked good, man. He was dialed in. He was taking what the defense was giving him, and then when he had to make the big throws, he made them. Starting with that one, or ending with that one that he made to set up the game-winning field goal. And obviously, you look at the Jets on paper, looks terrible. You know, they're 0-8 coming into the game, 0-9 now. Didn't have your starting quarterback in Darnold. You had Flacco, who played great as well. I think their offense, they were playing like they were trying to get that win. And the Patriots defense was kind of looking off banner. It was looking a little shaky. So Cam overcame that, made enough plays to get that win. And we know when it comes to those divisional matchups, man, you can throw the record, you can throw the stats, you can throw all that stuff out the window, man. Just the NFL in general. It's any given Sunday. You saw the Cowboys with Gilbert damn near beat the undefeated Steelers. So any given Sunday. So he got to win, man. So I know it's a win over the Jets, but it's still a win. And you know more than probably most people listening to this podcast, what a win does. Like winning just makes literally everything better. So been on a 4-game losing streak for them, which is, they're not used to that. For the Patriots and Cam, honestly, Cam's kind of been a winner throughout his whole career. Obviously had some rough times in Carolina, but he's, been a winner in my eyes. So to get that win, man, and even watching the game, the things that we see things a little differently than the average fan. So after the game, like all the players coming up to Cam, like all his teammates coming up to him, like dapping him up, chest bumping him, like you can tell like they really riding for him. And I see that, and I know, okay, the team really rocked with him. They really rocked the loser. I mean, with his team, and they getting that win was big for them, man. So who knows, man? I didn't say they were dead coming into the game. I know you said they were dead. Pat McAfee and the boys said they were dead. Bills got a huge win over the Seahawks, so the Bills are definitely in that driver's seat in that division.
Then you got Miami.
You got Miami. They got a big win over the Cardinals. Tua looking good. Their defense is looking outstanding as well. But this year they probably won't win much. But I'm still looking forward to Cam turning things around with that team, Bill turning things around, and those guys continue to get better, man.
Oh, next year they'll be good. Next year, should they get a full off season? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to.
So you think they resign? You think they resign the Cam after this year?
We'll see how these last couple games go. I think that's going to be very important. Obviously front office be able to see, where they can move and what that team will look like with Cam leading them. But watching the game and just listening to some of the commentators talk and speak about what Cam had kind of spoke about was like, first 2 games, they had time leading up to those first 2 games. That's why they looked so good. But then those games thereafter, it's like, okay, they putting different game plans in, and Cam is like, well, shoot, it's a lot on me. You know what I mean? It's a lot on me. It's more than what it was in the past, where he was in Carolina. Like, what you think about that? Like, as far as just a lot being thrown at him, he really can't, because as a player, you play faster, you play better when you're not thinking. And especially at that position, you can't be out there thinking. You got to be able to, call a check, change the protection, whatever the case may be. And like you said, like being uncomfortable out there, it slows you down. So, do you think, obviously he said it, so obviously that's one of them things that's kind of been prohibiting him to play at the level that we're used to seeing him play.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of anticipated that being somewhat of an issue coming into this season. Obviously Josh McDaniels working so long. I don't think I can remember Josh McDaniels working with a quarterback, quite like Cam. So having to shorten off season. And then when they came out, like you said, those first few games, he looked real good. It looked good, man. Took Seattle to the wire, got some wins, just looked like a good team. And then I feel like after he caught COVID, then it kind of was downhill from there. But it ain't, how we talk on this show, man. It's no excuses, no explanations. You got to figure it out, man. Y'all pros, man. You're the quarterback. You got a good, obviously a good squad of coaches leading you and coaching you up. So you just got to get on the same page and figure it out, because nobody's gonna feel sorry for the Patriots.
Not at all.
Nobody gonna feel sorry for Cam. He's kind of been one of those. And I would say for all the wrong reasons, but people always kind of put him in that villain spotlight almost. And I feel like he's been a great ambassador for the league since he's been in it. But, you know, a lot of people are rooting against Cam or have been. Definitely a lot of people are always rooting against the Patriots.
Yeah.
But I, you know, it's really on them to figure it out, man. I understand where you're coming from. But you know, there's no excuse. Same way I was talking about Mike McCarthy and his record. You know, the 3-12 in his last 15 games. Like I don't want to hear about who's hurt or this guy, that or that. Like that's your job to get out there and you know, figure it out, put your best foot forward. So they know that. We know that they're not making. That sounds kind of like an excuse. I ain't trying to hear that shit, man.
Nah, I'm with you. What was up with the secondary? Like, you know what I mean, earlier in the game, man. It gave up more big plays than what we're used to seeing of that Patriots secondary. I know one of the plays, you know, lost his footing off the line and, you know, got behind him. You know,
heels.
Yeah. So
I don't know what to make of that, man. That was that. A lot of it looked very uncharacteristic for a Patriot secondary.
Right.
It did, and especially against the Jets offense. And it's like Flacco looked like 2012 Flacco. He was playing like he was playing for a job again.
Jets got some weapons though out there, man. The young Rook, man, he looked good. They got some weapons. Like you said, I think this was the first game that all of the receivers was out there together. And Flacco was out there. You know what I mean? Like you said, Flacco played well. Sam Darnold, he hasn't had a full set of receivers, I think, this year. So
this year. But but on the flip side of that, kind of going back to Cam, you know, we was talking about the time coming in the game, but look at Cam. I was watching the game, I'm like, look at these weapons, bro. Like I understand, you know, you're gonna put a lot on quarterback, you're gonna put a lot on coaches, but you know, what does he have around him? Myers had a huge game, but you know, what does he have around him that he can really lean on and be like, all right, I'm a quarterback trying to figure it out. Like, I know I can go to this guy and he's going to win route after route. If I get single high, if I get one-on-one coverage, whatever it is, if I'm in this situation, third down, red zone, like you don't have no go-to guy. You know, Edelman's not out there.
Yeah.
You know, you got White, you know, James White, you know, he's obviously, you know, been good in his role, but outside of that, like, man, it's not like he's working with a lot of weapons out there, man.
True indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough on him, man.
Superman.
Hey, he gotta be super. He gonna have to be Superman. He played great. He gonna have to play at least that good or better going forward for them to continue to win.
Nah, for sure. He's gonna have to put the offense on his back for sure. That's no question.
Yeah, man, but it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see. Finally gonna see a changing of the guard in that division. Maybe we'll see.
Nah, ain't no maybe. We gonna see. It's gonna be a change. Ain't no maybe. It's definitely gonna be a change this year.
The Bills look nice, man. Allen look like he back on his shit. Stephon Diggs is you know, that trade. I didn't expect him to go to the Bills and do what he's doing now. He's playing some outstanding football right now.
John Brown, Humphreys.
Smoke Dog,
They got some weapons.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now that OC, he'll probably be a head coach soon.
You think so?
Yeah, he dials it up, man. Brian Daboll dials it up. We showed that one play on what was that, Overreaction Monday?
Yep.
When he threw that touchdown on that crossing route speed at 3. So he knows how to dial it up and attack the defenses the way, you know, in their weak spot. So I like what he's doing on offense, man.
Nah, for sure, man. Let's keep it football, NFL, and we kind of talk about the playoffs. You know, we get down. Obviously, November football, December football is crucial football, man. Leading off into the playoffs, man, and the league just approved the proposal to extend the playoffs from 14 to 16 teams for the 2021 postseason. Only if the league can't complete its regular season in 17 or 18 weeks. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good move. It's a good move. Number one, you get more teams in the playoffs, and that's like you said, if it's a shortened season, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, for us fans, it's more teams in the playoffs, and they already kind of approved going from 12 to 14, and now if you go from 14 to 16, it's more games, more people getting a shot, and this is that time in the season. You mentioned it, November football. I know playing for Belichick would always, like, every game meant something. But once we got, he would always say, hey, teams separate themselves for real, like around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like that's when it's like, all right, I don't care what you did those previous, 12 weeks. Once we get here, now you got to damn near start playoff football. You got to start playing playoff football, and we all know it's about what teams are hot. We've seen even last year we saw the Baltimore Ravens. I think they were 15-1 or 14-2, whatever that record was. They took a few weeks off going into the playoffs, and they just didn't look the same. And the other team, got on that roll, got momentum going. Calling plays, people getting in different rhythms, and people, you just get to a different spot, and that's, you want to hit it when it's hot, so that's where we getting. That's the point we getting into the season, and we're gonna see some cats start to separate themselves, and more teams gonna have opportunities if the season is short. I don't see the season being short, though. What you think?
Nah, I think they're pretty doing a decent job. When somebody does get COVID or it is a little scare, I think the teams are taking their appropriate protocols, try to nip it in the bud and before it spreads. So I think they're doing a good job, man. So I don't think it's going to be a short season. But again, like you said, for sure. But if it is a 16 team, more guys being able to get them extra checks. Everybody like them extra playoff checks. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. That's a fact.
Yeah, but no, I think it's a good move by the league, just approving that proposal, man. And like you said, as a fan, being able to see more teams, more games in January. So no, I definitely think it's a great move by the league.
Yeah, touching on COVID real quick, man. Imagine you in the playoffs though, and you lose your quarterback or something like the Steelers, where they going through with being on the list. Man, that should have sucked, bro.
It would. It would. Shit, I might just take that fine.
They ain't gonna let you run them out there.
Hey, I know. Shit, like take that $500,000 fine, whatever it's gonna be.
Take it, whatever it's gonna be. Hey, man, just stay in the gun. Call all the plays from the
gun. Like you said, they not gonna let him out there, but man. So currently, right now, with that extension, it will add the Raiders and the Bears to the playoffs.
So you got the playoff tree looking. You got the playoff. Oh, Tone threw it in there.
Yeah, Tone threw it in the chat for us.
I'm about to say what the playoff picture looking like right now.
Yeah. So, but and you know what? And this is what the crazy part is that I was thinking about is that type of scenario right there, the Raiders will get in there and probably go crazy.
Raiders they already beat the Jets. They got a team that can definitely play some good playoff football.
Oh, for sure.
They got to figure shit out on defense, though. I feel like they got it offensively, but defensively, they got Paul Gunther in the squad. They got to tighten up on defense. A lot of teams right now, you got to tighten up on defense. Yeah,
but you never know, man. You get in that playoffs, man. I don't want to say this because it's hard to do that. Like everybody talk about, you got to be special to be able to flip that switch. Not a lot of teams, not a lot of players can just flip that switch. But I'll take it back to 06 when we made our Super Bowl run. I think we was either damn near last or second to last against the run. You know what I'm saying? So it was horrible, man. That's when MJD and Freddie T ran for like 200 some yards on us, man. It was ugly. Luckily we had 18 on the other side. Saved us a lot of games with Reggie and Marv and Dallas and all of them. But we got to the playoffs, bro. I don't know what it was. We got Bob back. But we was able to flip that switch. But it was kind of that mentality. It was like, all right, man, it's one and done here. Like we gotta, and that was one of the things we just kind of harped on. Like, yo, stop this run. So, our first game we played Kansas City. Larry Johnson was the league. He led the league in rushing that year. I think we held him to like 30-some yards, and we kind of kept that momentum going. So it's one of them things. Like again, like you said before, it's like if you can catch that momentum and ride that momentum throughout the playoffs, man. You never know what can happen, but it's just funny to me. It's like, Raiders, Bears get in that playoffs. It'll be funny. They can take that all the way.
We seen Nick Foles get hot in the playoffs before, so we seen Flacco get hot in the playoffs before. So, like you said, it can definitely happen. All right, so you kind of alluded to it. Obviously, you guys flipping the switch, and like you said, y'all had. I feel like y'all had the personnel, though. You know what I mean? You had Rob Free up front. You had GB, Cato June in the middle. You had you and Bob. Like you said, Bob came back healthy. So y'all had that personnel to flip that switch. The leadership, Dungy on the sidelines. Y'all had all the pieces to fit. I just don't know if Oakland has those pieces. But our producer Tone, he asked us a question before we started shooting today, like, have we ever kind of been on, because we watched the Bucks game, we saw them get slaughtered mostly on offense. Offense had no chance, and obviously it's going to be reciprocal. The defense got torched too. He asked us, how does it feel like when you're on either side and it's like the other side of the ball is clicking, doing their thing, but you're not holding up your end of the you're not pulling your weight as a defense or as an offense. How did you have you ever had times like that in your career? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, we will all wish and hope that we go into a game and, offense is clicking on all cylinders. They scoring on every drive, and every time defense is out in the field, we getting the 3 and out. The special teams, really, they taking the day off today. Well, as far as the punter, he's taking the day off. And obviously, we were wanted that way. But it happens where, offense, they're doing their thing. And defense, we're giving up yards, we're giving up scores. So offense, they're keeping us in the game. They're scoring, and we still, we still giving up points. So, we on the sideline, we coming off the field, and you can always feel it. Like the offensive guys, they look at y'all like, yo, like what y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's been what
y'all down there talking about? What kind of adjustments y'all making, man?
Like, let me come down there and make some adjustments for y'all. Like, you know what I mean?
That's the word. You get hot too, low key, even though you ain't hold it down.
Exactly.
Hey man, y'all? Hey, they doing this, so y'all. Hey, but get your ass out of here. Go ahead.
Exactly. and then you've been on it as far as like your defense. Y'all rocking is 3 and out. Getting the offense the ball back. And then offense, they go 3 and out. And it's like that all game. And it's like, you start to speak up like, offense, pick your shit up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it be like that. But I think that's the good part about the game of football. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to be on one accord. Like, everybody has to be on the same page. Or if one side isn't clicking or working that Sunday, you know what I mean? That other side's gonna help pick them up, and that's why you call it the ultimate team game. You know what I'm saying? So I love it, man.
Yeah, it can definitely. I feel like it can get bad, and you never want to be in a position where like you pointing fingers, or like you let the media kind of be like, "Hey, man, the defense is playing great all year," but kind of what's going on with the coach right now. Like if you look at the coach, like a lot of people beating him, like, "Hey, man, we're wasting that great defense." And you can't, but you as a player, you can't let that shit seep into the locker room. You can't let it seep into your continuity and what's going on out there. So when it does, that's when you get the pointing fingers. You point fingers at the offense. You point fingers at your coach. So it's like, I mean, like you said, it happens. It happens when sometimes offenses or whoever, maybe you got some injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and motherfuckers they just got your number. They score points on you, and then on the other side of the ball, it's like the offense doing everything they can do. They putting up 28, 30 points a game, and we still losing. So it can definitely be frustrating. We've all, I feel like every player probably has been a part of it at one point or another in their career. And it's just like, I feel like for us, you still always, the good teams, the good players, they always look in the mirror and they're like, all right, we held them to 205 yards this game and whatever. You know what? It was that play that we could have turned them over. We could have kept them out of the end zone on this play. We could have scored on defense. So you always look at yourself, because sooner or later that tide gonna turn. Maybe you're playing great, and now you get into later in the season, people making plays on you, but the offense got your back and they put up 35 points and y'all get the win. So I definitely been on both sides too. But you regardless of how it's going and how everybody else is talking and feeling about it, it really just matters what's going on in that locker room. Y'all got each other back. Y'all holding each other accountable, and obviously just trying to put your best foot forward every day.
Nah, that's it, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Try to block the outside noise. We always talk about in the building, man. Like, forget what everybody's talking about outside the building, man.
Yeah.
If we believe, the people inside these buildings believe, man, we got a chance. We got a chance.
Fact.
So we still, we talking about these playoffs, man. If you could change the way the playoffs are set up right now, like, would you? So, for example, the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
Philly is leading that division at I think they're 3-4-1. If I'm 3-4-1 or 3-5-1, but they're leading that division with 3 wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
say they finish this season with 6 wins, right?
Yeah.
Should they make the playoffs?
I mean, it is what it is right now. It's one of your divisions.
Right now, it is what it is.
And so if you say, all right, hey D-Bud, you're ahead of what is it, the competition committee or the NFL, the rules, whatever. Exactly. You got a free game to change it however you want.
Exactly.
Honestly, kind of like what people been talking about on the NBA side, like, hey, forget the conferences, you see them best teams, and then you hash it out. I feel like do the same way in football. Kind of just like a March Madness system. I don't care if you're from the AFC, NFC. Hey, look, 16, 14, 12 teams, however many, we put their wins. You have your different tiebreaker rules. You go 1 from 12, and they play. You just got a bracket, and you play. So it kind of gets rid of that. Even the AFC, NFC part of it, where you may have in the Super Bowl, you may have 2 AFC representatives.
That's why I say I think I would do it 1 through whatever AFC, 1 through whatever NFC, so you could still have that AFC.
Me personally, like I said, if I got, this my whatever. I want 2 best teams playing in the Super Bowl. So back in the days when it was y'all and the Patriots going at it, it was kind of like that was kind of the Super Bowl low key.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure when y'all beat the Patriots to get there,
bro, exactly what we said.
Yeah, it was like, hey, okay, who we got? We got the Bears. Oh yeah, we gonna go out there. We gonna handle business. But y'all already probably felt like that we beat Belichick, we beat Brady. That was so. I feel like that's who I would have rather seen Peyton and Brady. I want to see them boys go out of the Super Bowl. If it's Brady and Breeze this year, I want to see that Super Bowl matchup. I mean, that's me personally. You know what I mean?
Nah, I can dig that. But that's definitely what we said because the Bears they played that Saturday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they won.
So y'all already knew.
We already knew when we won the game who we had, and we was like, "Oh, that was our Super Bowl. What we just played." I'd be damn if Rex Grossman beat us.
Y'all just beat Brady. That could have low-key been a trap game, a trap Super Bowl game.
It could, and Devin Hester came out and scored, hit the 7. But now I feel what you're saying. That definitely would have been a hell of a Super Bowl if like you said, if it was Peyton and Tom in the Super Bowl. That definitely would have been a hell of a game. So I could ride with that too. I just,
I understand you wanted to keep it just for the history of the game. It's always been like that. It's always been both conferences represented, and then you got the conference championship, so you'll have to change a lot.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that, but it's just I want to see the 2 best teams play on the last Sunday. Me personally, and it's kind of what you see in college. You know what I mean? It can be 2 SEC teams playing in the national championship. If those are 2 teams that end up getting there, and it's like if that's the most dominant conference or whatever, maybe you may come out of the same division and end up playing each other in the Super Bowl. So it'll definitely be weird on the beginning, but shit, it's 2020, man. Everything else switches up. Why not?
Nah, I'm with you.
That's me though. I always be thinking outside the box.
I'm with you.
Yeah, man.
So let's switch it up, man. A lot of NBA talk, man. A lot of NBA talk right now where, a lot of players potentially moving around where
Hearing the rumors.
Yeah, Chris Paul going to Phoenix, Serge Ibaka possibly going to the Lakers, Russell Westbrook potentially to the Knicks or the Clippers, James Harden might want out, man. First off, what you think about Chris Paul going to the Phoenix Suns?
I'm intrigued. You saw what he did with OKC. OKC kind of exceeded all expectations over there. Him going to the Suns, I mean, you got a dog in Booker. D-Book, I mean, one of the best scorers in the game. Obviously, Chris Paul, historically one of the best point guards in the game. They got the young boy Ayton, who's also doing work. So you got some core pieces, and that's really what you need in the NBA these days: a good 2-3 top dogs, and then a team around them. Yeah. So I definitely think they'll do it. I don't think they're gonna win the championship. You still got LA over there. You still got the Clippers. We're gonna see what happens there.
The Mavs.
You got Golden State coming back healthy.
Golden State coming back.
Yeah. We've seen the difference. You saw a report coming out. Seeing a difference in the layoff time. So Golden State I had 200 damn near a year off. They didn't even go to the bubble. And then you got the Lakers who, got less than 80 days off. So we know as athletes, that's definitely a competitive advantage. You get Steph and Clay back healthy. And then you got who did they add on? They added the young Wiggins. They added Wiggins, and now they got the top 2 pick in the draft, so they can shake some things up. Yeah, so I don't yeah.
It might get ugly over there.
So yeah, I don't see the Suns really making any noise over there with that move. It'd be good for the NBA. It'd be exciting to see, because the Suns, when they got in the bubble, they got hot. They got real hot. They look real good in that bubble. So they got a good thing going over there. I think Chris Paul and his leadership would definitely bump them up, but it's too tough over there on that west side.
That west side, it's tough. It's tough. So all right, what you think about Westbrook? We kind of talked about this before we started going live. And what you think about Westbrook going to who was the other team or the Clippers?
I've been a Westbrook guy, man. I've been defending Westbrook. I love the dog. Maybe just being a football player and just seeing his competitiveness. Like, he one of the players you watch basketball. He could come on the football field, and I would like him in my secondary on my team. Right. And I feel like he plays the game the right way. If I'm a fan, when I go get it, when I pay whatever I pay to watch Westbrook play, I know I'm gonna get everything he got. But at the same time, like, man, he gets reckless, man. Reckless in time, and a lot of times where I always say when I look at Russ, I just wish he would play with just a better pace, a better feel for the game. He got the talent. His jump shot got to get back to where it was, especially with him, getting older. I feel like that mid range, that was a huge part of his game that has kind of tailed off these last couple years. So I'm not as high on Russ as I was when he got traded to the Rockets and he paired up with Harden. I'm like, that's going to be a problem seeing them two in the playoffs, but it ain't really work out that way. So I don't see him going to the Knicks. What's the other team?
The Clippers.
The Knicks Clip. I don't really see that. We saw with him and Paul George.
I don't know how that would work. Him, Kawhi,
I don't see it. I mean, I feel like I don't see it, man. I mean, I'm not, honestly, I don't want to say I wouldn't want him on my team, but I wouldn't want him being like, this the guy we're building around. This the guy we're trying to win the championship with. Like I said, if I'm paying my money to watch him play, I know I'm going to get everything he got, but at the same time, like, I need like LeBron, Luka, like these cats, Chris Paul, like these guys, they got pace, they control the game, they make it everybody around them. Like Russ, I feel like you trying to be out there and just find your spot, maybe stay out his way. So that's how I feel on Russ, man. I love him though, man. I love his energy. I love him.
Nah, I can dig it, man. Hard, man. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I think it's those. I think that situation is like one of them things where you got to kind of get out your own way. You know what I mean? Where I think he will have to come to a point in his career to be like, look, this is what I'm gonna have to do as a player. And it might have to be, and it could be a humbling situation where it's like I might have to go into a situation where I can't shoot as many shots. I might have to go to a situation where my thing is I'm that defender or whatever the case may be, even though he can still score the rock. But I think it's going to be at the situation where he has to like really talk to himself and be like, okay, this is what it is. Because obviously
So kind of what we seen with Melo in Portland. Not that, you know,
not that drastic,
yeah,
but some similar, especially if you're thinking about going to the Clippers, because you got Kawhi and Paul George. Like I don't even know how that would work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know how that would work. But say you go to the Knicks, like yeah, you're gonna be one of the alpha males there, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna sacrifice to help this team?
Because can he even take a step back if he went to the Knicks though? Like who else is around him?
But I mean, obviously, you know, I think Knicks got a lot of cash where they can probably, you know, if they would sign him, I think some other guys, they might be able to get another guy, RJ Barrett. They might be able to get another guy to come there, but that's the thing. Like, it's tough, and especially where he is at in his career. It's not like he's a young player anymore. It's just a tough situation, man. But he got to find that happy medium where, okay, I can still do my thing, but I need to do what's best for the team. And a lot of times it's not going to be, I need the ball in my hand. I'm going 100 miles an hour up down the court.
Mm-hmm. You know I mean, he got to slow down. I feel like he's still out there playing like he's got to slow down. He got to control that pace. But too, we talk about the East, talk about the Knicks. I just saw a report from the Nets over there in Brooklyn. Somebody just said, who was it? Another ball player.
Gilbert Arenas was talking about it.
No, it was somebody on my Twitter timeline. They were showing KD and one that offseason where he kind of went on that summer tour. He was killing cats, and whoever it was a hooper. He retweeted him and said, "Hey, I just played with him like last week. He looks better right now." So the reports are Kevin Durant is coming back looking better. He had a long time off.
Yeah.
They said he's looking better than he was even before. So what you think about the Nets coming out of that East? You think they got a chance?
Scary. They got a chance, bro. You got KD and Kyrie. And so when I was listening to Gilbert Arenas, they said that was in the they was running open gym, and they had the Nets team in there, and they was rocking, and they said they were just killing cats. You know what I'm saying? Don't know who they was playing against, but that can go a long way. And we talk about in football how, you know, you get to know each other off the field, you rock with each other off the field, off the court. So just imagine like how that will be able to transcend once you get into the locker room, once you get into the regular season or whatever. But when you got them two type of guys that's leading your franchise, KD, you know, Kyrie Irving, you know what I mean? That's nightmares right there, bro. Like that's scary.
The only hesitation, both of those are killers. Shot makers. Kyrie, one of the best finishers I've seen. Obviously, his hand, he can shoot the ball. He's been on a big stage. He hit big shots. Same thing with KD. You got that. You got a rookie head coach with Nash, who's hired some other players. You got Stoudemire. He got Dan Antoine. So they put that staff together. The only thing that maybe may concern me a little bit is you got Kyrie, KD, Curious, I believe his name is.
They got a bench though.
Yeah, I'm saying so. You got Spencer too, but all these guys, I feel like they need the ball in their hand to be effective. So that's the only thing that's kind of like giving me a little bit of pause. Like, okay, you got some ball dominant guys, so it's gonna be like we talked about Russ. There got to be some compromise there, some give and take. It's only one ball, so if they can figure that out with Steve Nash being a first-year head coach and Kyrie already talking kind of, we don't need a head coach. Like, it's going to be head coach by committee. I just don't know about Kyrie kind of because you've seen some issues in Boston. You see issues in Cleveland when you know, his way out of there. Yeah. It's like, so I don't know. Even the Nets, once he was out of there, they kind of played a little better last year. So that may give me a little bit of pause, but as far as talent-wise,
you can't deny that.
Yeah, undeniable talent. So
who you got in the East? You got the Heat. You got you got the Heat. You got the Bucks. I don't know what Philly going to do.
Yeah, they hired Daryl Morey over there.
I think the Raptors. It might be a wrap for the Raptors.
A wrap for the Rat. Van Fleet talking about getting his bread,
getting that bag. As he should. Serge Ibaka might be up out of there.
He might be over there with the Lakers.
Might be with the Lakers. My mob.
It's your mob now. I thought the Magic was your mob. Ain't the Magic in the East too?
Nah, that's my mob. That's my mob. Magic is my mob. I'm taking a page out your book. You know what I mean?
Okay, I respect it.
Yeah. I'm taking a page out your book. Yeah. So the Nets, man, like you said, talented. They got a lot of talent over there. Obviously, there's gonna be some questions, like you said, first year head coach. You know, I'm not gonna say character issues because I'm not saying character, but just some maybe some chemistry,
question marks.
Some question marks. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm regardless though. I'm definitely excited to see a healthy Nets team jog out there. I like just watching them boys. I can sit back and watch Kyrie and KD play basketball all day.
Yeah.
Like, so that's gonna, and then it's gonna be interesting to see how Nash runs. You know how Nash runs it, because we all remember how Nash used to run it on the court. So that's gonna be interesting to see too.
I don't think that's gonna be I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
We gonna see, man. I don't know. Kyrie and leadership when it comes to coaches, it's been some bumping heads over the years. So we gonna see.
Yeah.
Nash, he's a player. Nash, a former player,
point guard,
and he's kind of, you know, he's not far removed from the game at all. Kevin Durant has some history with him because I believe he was doing some work with the Warriors.
Right?
So I'm sure he learned, you know, some things from Kerr as well. So Kerr had immediate success, obviously, with a great Warriors team, and now the Nets have, you know, some great pieces. So it's gonna be interesting. Definitely gonna be interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'll tell you that much. Got the draft coming up, the NBA draft coming up. To be real with you, I don't know that much about the prospects.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? I know Anthony Edwards, they put on the pro day from him with Clutch Sports. You know, some of the agents had some pushback with that. You got who else? You got Wiseman. You got Wiseman, who's a Memphis prospect. You got LaMelo Ball, who a lot of them talking about, you know, could be a top 1-2 pick. But outside of that, you know, I'm not.
I'm lost. Yeah, I'm lost.
I'd be interested in watching it. If y'all know more about the draft, y'all holler, let's educate us. But
let us know.
It's gonna be fun. December 22nd, NBA is back.
Hey, right before Christmas.
Right before Christmas.
It should be a good time. So we'll see, man. It's a quick turnaround for them boys.
Definitely, especially if you made a deep run in the playoffs.
That boy Brown said he cherry picking for the first month.
He said that's what he got AD for, man. I don't blame him.
Hey, I'm cherry picking for the first month. Nah, back. Hey, look, man, we got a special guest coming up on our next episode. CJ2K,
yes, sir.
Tennessee Titans, graduate from ECU, a Florida boy.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, on our Thursday night lives, y'all be sure to join us. Ask your questions, man. So it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a real good show, man. CJ2K.
Yeah, start submitting them questions right now, man. Titans great. You know, I played against him. I played against him. I believe in that season he went for 2K too. So y'all definitely submit those questions. Should be a great interview. Looking forward to that one.
Yes, sir. So, man, there you go. Another episode of the Man to Man podcast. I'm Antoine Bethea with my co-host, Darius Butler. Again, man, subscribe, send that 5-star. We appreciate y'all for listening week in and week out, every episode. We'll be back. Much love.
Merch coming soon. You
You heard it here first. We out.
Yep.